Hi friends, welcome to EduTap. So welcome to the live session wherein we are going to discuss yet another scheme and which is going to be relevant for ESI and for all the three examinations: RBI Grade B, NABARD Gr A and SEBI Gr A 2019 examination. So friends, just let me know if I'm audible so that we can begin with the session. So you need to tell me if my sound, you're able to hear me properly, and is there any issue, or we can just start off the session. So just let me know in the chat box so that I can begin with it. We'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes more and then we'll begin with the session. So friends, I really hope that your preparation is going well for the examination, and it is the right time to strategize and to have a look at what all you need to prepare, right? And when it comes to schemes, we know that it is very important for our examination. So yes, we have been doing this as part of the previous 2 weeks as well, wherein we are having a look at the various schemes through 2-marker questions, and this is a kind of a trend that we have usually experienced in the exam, right? So of late also, recently SEBI exam also, there were paragraphs with fill-ups, and these kind of questions are usually asked in the examination. So let us see how we need to solve them. We'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes more and then we'll begin with the questions straight away. So friends, as we can see here that these are certain list of chapters. From these chapters you would probably get questions on the various schemes that the government comes out with, right? So this is the chapters that you find in ESI, and yes, so before we begin, let me just tell you something about EduTap's results. So in 2017, there were a total of 27 final selections in RBI Grade B 2017, 11 selections in NABARD Gr A 2017, and in the year 2018, 26 selections in NABARD Gr A 2018, and nearly 287 plus interview calls for RBI Grade B 2018, and 200 plus students cleared SEBI Phase 1 2018, right? And let us see the final results. We'll update it very soon. So friends, telling you about our courses that we offer. So we have RBI Phase 1 and Phase 2. We have Phase 1 plus Phase 2 non-video course also. And there is an exclusive course for Phase 2 only, right? Full video course. There's NABARD Phase 1 plus Phase 2 full video course. And we also have combo courses, SEBI, RBI and NABARD together, and RBI and NABARD together, and SEBI and RBI together. So these are the various combinations that are available. So accordingly you can apply or you can buy the course that you wish to, right? And friends, let us just move on directly to the discussion today. So I really hope that I am audible and you're able to hear me properly. Only then I'll be able to begin with the session today. Okay friends, so here this is a paragraph that we are talking about. It is a kind of the 2-marker questions that you get in the examination. So let me just read the paragraph first. So it says, even as the government says that there's a lack of data on jobs, an analysis of available numbers shows that 3 flagship employment generation programs have generated 27 lakh employment opportunities in the last 4.5 years, right? So among these 3 schemes, one of the schemes was launched with the aim of reducing poverty and vulnerability of urban poor households by enabling them to access gainful self-employment and skilled wage employment opportunities. So basically friends, yes, we have again taken one scheme that caters to employment opportunities, right? So they're talking about 3 schemes in the first paragraph that is mentioned. Now in the second paragraph you can see that they are specifically talking about one scheme, right? And this scheme has been launched with an aim to reduce poverty, and the next keyword that you need to look for is urban poor households, right? So some a particular scheme which has something to do with employment, which has something to do with reducing poverty, and which caters to urban poor households. Okay, so this is these are the hints or the keywords that you need to pick up on. Okay, so now you need to tell me the first question I'm going to put forth, that you need to identify the scheme that is being talked about in the passage, right? So basically the first scheme is Aspire, the second scheme is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, right? The third one is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihoods Mission. The fourth one is Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, and the fifth one is Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana, right? So you need to tell me which is the answer. Try attempting the answers. Even if it is wrong, it's okay. Let's just have a discussion on this, right? So we'll just wait for half a minute. Let's see if you guys can just come out with the options. So Sahil says it is D, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So Sahil, just by going with the term Garib, don't try to relate the scheme. Just try. Maybe there might be some other option which is correct. So you need to try, right? So Gauri, hello, how are you doing? So I just hope your preparations are going good. So let us just tell you, let me just tell you the answer for this question. So the answer is C, that is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihoods Mission, right? So this is a scheme which caters to urban poor households, right? And it aims to reduce poverty, plus it also helps them gain self-employment, right? And yes, there are people coming up with answers. Deepika says C, yes, you are right. Swati again C. So yes, people, you are attempting the questions right. Let us just see the next question for today. So before that, let me just tell you that this particular scheme, as we have seen, that it caters to urban poor households. And what are the important lookouts when you talk about this particular scheme? One is gainful self-employment. It helps to form self-help groups, okay, so that they can be self-employed. Plus also it helps the rack pickers, even the homeless people, okay, street vendors. So these are certain target segments as part of this particular scheme, right? And in Hindi also there is a name which is given to this particular scheme, which is called Rashtriya Shahri Ajivika Mission. So you need to know you need to memorize this particular name as well. In examination sometimes you might also get this as a probable option, right friends? Now moving on to the second question for today. So basically the second question says the scheme which is talked about in the passage comes under which of the following ministry, okay? So you need to guess the ministry under which this particular scheme comes, okay? So let us see if you guys can attempt this particular question. You need to make sure that you are relating to the correct ministry, because all these options are quite confusing, okay? So just try out. We'll just see if you guys can come out with certain answers, and then I'll let out the correct answer for this particular question. So friends, just try attempting it. It's fine. Yes, Anivesh says it is C. It is Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. Let us see if the answer given by Anivesh is correct. So any of you guys, if you can just see and answer this particular question. Yes, Anivesh, let me see if this answer is correct. Let us wait for the other answers as well. Okay, Mayur says again C. So most of you, Deepika says it is C. Yes, Gopal says it is E. That is Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Okay, let us see if Gopal is correct. Okay, Swati says C. Okay, so a lot of you vouching for C to be the answer. Let us see if this is the answer. Okay friends, so the answer for this particular question is C. It is Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation, right? So it is very important for you to memorize the ministries, because as I told you, the options, if you see, it is really confusing and it's not very easy to immediately place this scheme under a proper ministry, right? So unless and until you're aware of it. Okay, so now let us move forward. Okay, Prem comes out with the answer E. So Prem, it is not E, it is C. It is Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation, right? So now I hope you don't forget the correct option or the correct answer for it, right? So now let us see. Okay, now here you can see in this section there are important points that you need to note. First of all is regarding the target population. Okay, so basically when you talk about this particular scheme, it targets the urban poor, including the urban homeless. Okay, and if you talk about coverage, you can get a probable question on coverage of a particular scheme also. Okay, so initially when this scheme was introduced, it was only in 790 statutory towns. Okay, but now if you see, it has been extended to all the 4041 statutory towns in the country. Okay, so this can be a probable question also in the examination. So memorize the information regarding this coverage. And next, coming to sharing of funding, basically. So the funding for this particular scheme is going to be shared between the center and the state in the ratio of 75:25. So center be sharing the 75% of funds and states 25%. And there's a different ratio when it comes to the northeastern and special category states. So this ratio is going to be 90:10. So friends, all these three points are very important. It tells a lot about this particular scheme, and again I'm repeating myself, there can be probable questions which can be asked from this particular scheme, right? So next, moving on to the third question. Yes, Anivesh, I'll just let you know. First of all, let us finish this particular question out here. So the third question here is, in which of the following years was the scheme launched? Okay, so the scheme that we are talking about in the passage, you need to tell in which year was the scheme launched. Okay, so let me tell you that this particular scheme that we have picked upon today has a lot of genesis. There is a lot of background to it, and we shall understand that with the help of a flow chart. Okay, so right now just try attempting this particular question, which says in which year was this particular scheme launched. Okay, so Anivesh says, is it 2016? I guess even he is not sure, so that question mark is there. Okay, so let us see what the other guys would come out with the answer. So Mayur says it is C again, 2016. Okay, Gopal also goes with C, it is 2016. Okay, so let us see if all the three of you are right. So Badri comes up with the answer as A. Okay, it is 2013 as per Badri. Let us see if he is right. Okay, so yes guys, try attempting the answer even if you're not aware of it, because it's very important to do a discussion out here. Only then you'll be able to remember these answers in the examination, right? So I guess, okay, so Ricky says he's in doubt. He doesn't know the answer. So fair enough, no problem. We'll see what is the answer. Sumit says it is C, 2016. So I can see most of you are going with the option C. Okay, Swati also vouches for option C. Okay, 2016. Okay, so friends, let me just tell you one thing. Here the question is not regarding the restructuring. Okay, let me tell you that the scheme that we are talking about, Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihoods Mission, this was integrated. Okay, this is an integrated form of previously existing schemes. Okay, so I'm not asking you what is the launch year of the integrated form, but the first time when the scheme was launched, that is National Urban Livelihoods Mission. So you need to think that way also. Okay, so Prem is saying E, it is 2017. Deepika again C, 2016. Okay, so let us see what is the answer. Let me wait for a minute. I guess people are trying to answer this particular question. Okay, so let me tell you the answer. So the answer for this particular question is A. Okay, it is 2013. Okay, so let me just hold the discussion for this particular question, because what happens is you might get confused. What we will do is we will go to a flow chart at the back. Okay, and we will have a look at the various schemes that were in place and how this particular scheme came into existence. Okay, and then we will come back in fact to this question. So don't worry if you're not getting it right. Okay. So it is clearly given on the side that Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation launched this particular scheme on 23rd of September 2013. Okay, so let me tell you that this particular scheme was launched by replacing an existing scheme. And what was the name of that existing scheme? It was Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. It was. Okay, so this is again a very important information. You might get a question directly based upon this. So never forget which existing scheme this particular scheme has replaced. Okay, so it is Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. So this is a kind of a question that is usually asked in the examination, right friends? Okay, so moving on to the fourth question for today. So basically the question says, which of the following portals has been launched recently under the above mentioned scheme? Sorry, I have missed upon the word scheme here. For quicker processing of loans and to connect directly with the beneficiaries, ensuring greater efficiency in the delivery of services, right? So friends, you can see here that this is current affairs which is linked to this particular scheme. Okay, so this was a news recently. So in examination also you might get a direct question like this, linked to the current affairs plus linked to the scheme as well. Okay, so now you need to tell me what is the answer. Is it Asan, is it Vikas, it is PESA, Unnati or Uplabdhi? Okay, so you need to tell me a lot of answers pouring in. Okay, so Ricky says it is D, Unnati. Anivesh says it is PESA. Rahul says it is D, Unnati. Okay, so Rahul again says D, fine. So Prem says it is D. So most of you are going with D. Let me give a chance to others as well. Let us see how they answer, right? So you need to be, it is very important that whenever there's some portal or there's some app which is launched, okay, you need to know what are the features of that app and to which particular scheme is that portal or app linked. Okay, you might get a direct question based upon this in the examination. So Deepika is saying C, it is PESA. Let us see. Okay, Swati again goes with PESA portal. Okay, so let us see how many of you are getting it right. So Sumit says Unnati. Okay, so the names are quite confusing. Rahul says it is Uplabdhi. Answer is E. Okay, so variety of answers for this particular question. So Adil Hassan says it is C, that is PESA. Salil Tripathi again says B, Vikas. Let us see a mix of answers for this question. Okay, so Swati comes up with an explanation where she says PESA developed by Allahabad Bank. Swati, I guess let us see, you'll be surprised with the next question of ours as a fifth question. Okay, so let me just go on with the answer for this particular question. So the answer is, okay, PESA. So option C stands to be the correct answer for this particular question. Okay, so this is a portal which is released. So basically, if you see here, the Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched PESA, that is Portal for Affordable Credit and Interest Subvention Access. Okay, it is a centralized electronic platform for quicker processing of loans under Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. Okay, so this is a very important portal. So kindly make sure that you know the name of it. Now you will definitely not forget the name. It is called PESA portal. Okay, so it is likely that the states, union territories, all the scheduled commercial banks, RRBs, cooperative banks, all are likely to be on board this particular portal by the year end, right? Next, coming to the fifth question. So it says, which of the following bank has designed and developed this particular portal, right? So basically, if you see one of our candidates here, Swati, has already come up with the answer. She says it's Allahabad Bank. So now you guys can try the answer for this particular question. So which of the following bank has designed and developed this particular portal? right? So I'll just wait for half a minute. Let us see how many of you can answer this particular question. Yes, Swati picked up on the question, I guess. She understood the question already. So, yes. So, Mayur says it is C, that is Allahabad Bank. Anivesh says it is C. So, most of you would have figured out the answer by now. Yes, Anivesh says it right, that we should thank Swati for this because she already let out the answer. So obviously I'm not going to wait for more answers to pour in. So yes, definitely it is Allahabad Bank. It is this bank which has come out with this particular portal, right? And the last question for today, friends, right? So it says which of the following is not one of the components of the above mentioned scheme. So let me tell you the options. So read the question first. It is not one of the components, okay? So the first option is employment through skill training and placement. Then it is social mobilization and institution development, subsidy to urban poor, shelters for urban homeless, or none of the above. So you need to tell me what is the correct answer for this particular question. So just read it properly. It is regarding the components under this particular scheme. So Prem says it is B, that is social mobilization and institution development. So he says that this particular option is not one of the components. So you need to keep revising it. So subsidy to urban poor. So Rahul says C is not one of the component. Okay, Deepika says shelters for urban homeless is not one of the component. So you need to understand not. The word not is there. Okay, so Sumit also says D is the answer. So guys, think again, because we have been seeing the objectives of this particular scheme. B say, okay, Shrikant says B, social mobilization. Okay, so let us see how many of you are getting it right. Any more answers for this particular question? Badri says, is it D? Okay, so Badri is in doubt. So he says it is shelters for urban homeless. So guys, if you have joined us late, if you are giving this answer, I can accept it. But after the first question, we were discussing a statement which said that it would take care of urban homeless people as well, right? So you can judge that obviously D is not going to be an answer for this. So let us see the other, let us see if any of you want to attempt this question, or I'll just jump to the answer directly. Okay, so I guess we can move on to the answer. So the answer for this particular question is none of the above. That means all the four options that you can see form a component of the above mentioned scheme, right? So even employment through skill training and placement is a component, social mobilization and institution development too, subsidy to urban poor, shelters for urban homeless, all these are components of this particular scheme, right? So here I have listed down the components. You can actually download the PDF of this session also. So in that you can have a look at the various components that are mentioned, and in fact you need to know the provisions also. For example, when you talk about subsidy to urban poor, you need to know that an interest subsidy of 5 to 7% is given for setting up micro enterprises. Okay, so this is again important. So the percentage also might be asked in the examination. Okay, so these are some of the important points that you need to remember, right friends? Okay, so here is an important chart which you need to know for this particular scheme. So I'll just explain it to you, and you can also download this and refer whenever you have a confusion regarding it. So first of all, there was a scheme which was called Integrated Rural Development Program, IRDP. Okay, so it was renamed, or it was restructured as Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana in the year 1999. Okay, so basically this particular program was introduced to encourage the formation of self-help groups, okay, and to encourage self-employment. Okay, and after this, in the year 2011, this particular scheme, which you can see SGSY, was again restructured into National Rural Livelihoods Mission, or Ajivika, in the year 2011, and this particular scheme comes under Ministry of Rural Development, right friends? Now here you can see at the right hand side that there was a scheme which was called Swarna Jayanti Shehri Rozgar Yojana. Okay, this was restructured in the year 2013 as National Urban Livelihoods Mission, right? And this particular scheme, National Urban Livelihoods Mission, comes under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, right? And then later in the year 2016-17, these two schemes that you can see, that is National Rural Livelihoods Mission and National Urban Livelihoods Mission, were integrated, and together it was presented as Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana DAY in 2016-17. Now there are two components under Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. One is National Urban Livelihoods Mission, so it is DAY NULM, and the other is National Rural Livelihoods Missions, that is DAY NRLM. Right? So now you need to make sure that you understand this particular flow chart, because there might be direct questions from this as well. Okay. So now you can see there's a checklist here, right, where let us see if we have catered to all the possible questions that I always ask you to. The date, year, place of launch, yes, we have done this. We are not bothered about place of launch because it is not very recent, okay, so you would not get a question on this. Then it is it a new scheme or a rebranding of an existing scheme? So yes, we can see we went to this flow chart, so this particular question is answered through this particular flow chart, right? Then the ministry which is implementing it, we saw the ministry as well, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, the sub schemes under it, so we saw the sub components under it, right? Beneficiaries, target population, we saw the poor households, urban poor households, okay. We also saw the coverage, okay. Criteria, it is not specifically mentioned, okay. Mechanisms, again we can just have a look at the components. And regarding the budget outlay, we are yet to get this particular information. We would come out with it and we would update it in the schemes document further, right? And any current affairs related to the scheme, we saw regarding the coming up of PESA portal released by Allahabad Bank, so that was a current affair which was related to this particular scheme. So friends, similarly we will be doing the other schemes in the coming weeks as well, right? So in this way we will try and cover all the possible schemes when it comes to ESI. So do not neglect the schemes when it comes to ESI. It is very important, and there can be 3 to 4 direct questions which are asked, or 3 to 4 2-marker questions, okay, from this particular schemes in your examination from ESI. So friends, I guess with this we are closing off the session for today, and I really hope that you are taking your preparation seriously. So till then friends, if you have any query, you can drop us a mail at hello@edutab.co.in. You can also give us a call at 8146207241. And if you want any information regarding our courses, you can go to our website www.edutab.co.in. Till then friends, thank you so much and happy learning.